Hello, everybody. So, welcome to my very first via the camera officially launched live. So, my name is Jackie G, for those of you that don't know me. And today I'm hoping that you're hearing this okay. But um, today I want to talk about empowerment in your life with setting healthy boundaries. Feel free to leave a comment, and I will do my best to respond to them. So let's get into it. In our life, whether it's in our workplace, in our personal relationships, it's so important to have healthy boundaries. In fact, having healthy boundaries is something that sets you above the rest of the people. Just going to move this mic a little closer because I just want you to be able to get the full volume here. So healthy boundaries is something that a lot of people do struggle to implement. So they set them out, and then the next thing happens is that they're struggling to have them in place, to really implement them. Why? Well, one of the big things is that um, we want to please people. We want to have people in our life who accept us, who love us for who we are. But often what happens is we set the boundary. We say, right, I'm not going to be spoken to a certain way by a certain person. And we're cruising along and we're having a great conversation with that person. And all of a sudden, they decide that they need to tell us how we live our life. They're going to tell us that we're not living life the way they think we should. Or we could do something better, like change the color of your hair or something like that. But they're really almost what feels to you like aggressive as they do this. Now, how do you feel in that moment? How do you feel in that moment where people are a little aggressive in their tonality? They might not mean to, but they are. Or how do you feel when they are almost complimenting you, but at the same time insulting you? How do you handle that situation? What is it that you do to help you handle that situation? Well, one of the things that you can do is to stop and take a deep breath and think about how this makes you feel, and is now the right time to actually say something to somebody? Because if you're upset, it's not. If you're feeling upset, then it's not the right time to have that conversation. And that's okay. You could choose to have that conversation at a later date, or if you've calmed down and you're not upset anymore and you've got over it, then you might let it go. But one of the things that happens is that people will continue to treat us the way we let them. So think about that for a second. Do you have anyone in your life that, and I'm just going to check this mic setting. Okay, it seems to be okay. Do you have anyone in your life right now, right in this very moment, that has you thinking, yeah, I love that person, or I really care about that person, but the way they feel that they can speak to me at times and judge me, yeah, I'm getting a bit sick of that. I'm getting a bit sick of, I just can't seem to do anything right. This is something that a lot of people struggle with, and the speaking up and standing up for yourself all comes down to How ready are you to be treated with respect? Because even the most well intentioned advice doesn't always land that way. It doesn't always come at a time when we think that it should. It sometimes surprises us. Yeah, when we think about it, often it's unsolicited opinions and advice. So let me ask you this. Have you ever had that time where you said to someone, I really want to level up in my business, or I really want to take the next level in my career path, or my health, or my well being? And that person loves to do coaching or mentoring, or has done it before and has had great responses or great results with people. And they're like, yeah, I can help you with that. But they didn't stop to ask you what that would look like for you. They've just like, "Oh, well, I know because I've got this experience of, moving up in this career path, or I've got this experience of knowing what it's gonna take to be that." So, they're going to maybe give you direction, advice on what they think will work because in their career path, in maybe their business, this is what's worked for them. But is that right for you? Is that actually what you should be doing? Is the way somebody has moved up their career path the right way for you? Because it's a completely different job, you're completely different people, you bring completely different skills to it. I find this kind of behavior sometimes fascinating. I find that a lot of people think, "Oh, I should do this way. I should do this that way." And then they ask somebody for help or for input, and what happens is they get how it should be for that person, not for them. So, as a coach, one of the biggest things I have done in my life is I've always said to a person, so they've come to me and they've said, I really want to grow my business. That's often the biggest one. The latest one I'm getting now, which I'm really excited about, is people coming and saying, I want to know my success code, which I'll talk to that in a minute if you like. But one of the biggest things that I found has been so exciting when they ask me about their success code, I get very excited, but I digress. But when they ask me, I really want to grow my business, how can I do it? One of the first things I ask them is, tell me about your business and what makes it unique. I want to hear all about your business. And we may spend 10 minutes on that. Like, or we may spend 2 minutes because they're like, well, I just do this. I provide support work, or I'm a physiotherapist, or I'm a lawyer. Okay, but tell me more. And I like to hear as much as I possibly can about their business because when I do hear more about that, what's happening is I'm actually learning about them as well. Now, it could be at this point that I get them to do the business quiz. I saw business personality profile quiz because that's going to tell me a lot more about them as a person. So if you come and work with me, then yeah, we're gonna do a little quiz. Now, I'm just gonna share with you if that's okay. And please, reach out and say hi in chat because I love to learn about who's here and I love to tailor the content to what it is that you would love. Um, and even just let me know that Like, the mic's telling me it's working, but it's a new mic, so I'm just getting familiar with it. But one of the things is that, I love when I work with people, and I'm gonna just share with you about the unique success code, is the unique success code is all about what makes life work for you. Like, what are your strengths? What do you do really well? But going deeper than that to what isn't working, like, what do you find a challenge? So, for example, one of the profiles, when you do the quiz, it's completely free, is that one of the profiles that we do is an innovator. Now, an innovator is that person that is always thinking ahead. They're a bit of a visionary type of a person, and they're always on the go in the sense of, okay, so big dreams, so big actions often. Not on the go as much as an adventurer, but they're still quite busy. And one of the things is that it's really about, for the innovator, it's really about what can I do bigger, better? It's different. It's often things that people haven't thought of. As I said, a bit of a visionary. Now, when you know that bit about yourself, and often when you do these quizzes, you go, yep, I knew that. But what we do is we look at, as an innovator, you're maybe going to struggle with the finer things or the things that take a little bit longer, because you can see your vision and you can see your dream and you're wanting to make it happen. You're so excited about this dream or this idea coming together. You can see it so clearly. But where you maybe struggle, if you're an innovator, is that you're like, "Oh, these little details, these little things." And when someone comes along and says to you, "But why do you wanna do this? Why do you wanna build that tower over there?" Or, "Why do you want to run a business that incorporates outdoor activities, but they're not your standard outdoor activities?" Like, and when people are asking that question, it's often because they don't understand it. They don't see the vision like you do. They maybe see why it might not work, or why that piece of land might not be the right place or whatever. And so innovators tend to not want to sit and answer that why question, because they can see it. They're still working through the details, but it's a little harder to explain to everybody. But they also don't wanna lose the passion and the excitement about this dream that they have, this goal, this vision, and they know deep within them that it can work, but they hate the whole why conversation at times, especially when they're sharing the idea. So often innovators will share their idea, but then they don't want the why. They don't want the why question, because it's sometimes it's really hard to explain a vision or a goal that we have, and sometimes we shouldn't, and we shouldn't need to. Now, when it comes to healthy boundaries, this is where an innovator may struggle with that. Adventurers sometimes struggle with it a little bit, but they can be quite strong. So, coming back to the unique success code, is that we tap into, okay, so as an innovator, you're probably going to struggle a little bit with having those solid, um, answering those why questions, because people are curious. It might not be a judgment, it just could be that they're curious. And that's one of the amazing things about this, is that when you understand and have your unique success code, which is getting down deep, what we then do is walk you through a few scenarios. Okay, so let's think about a time in your life and facing the challenges. And this is where healthy boundaries come in. Those healthy boundaries that are all about you having the quality life that you really deserve and want. Because for me, and maybe this is right for you as well, there is nothing worse than someone coming along and saying to you, "But why would you want to do that? I really don't get it." And almost making you feel like because you care about this person. They're an important person in your life. Maybe they're your best friend, and they come along and they go, "Yeah, I really don't get it." And all you would love from them is their support. Not that they need to get it, not that you need their approval, because there's a difference between support and approval. But all you want is someone to say, "Hey, good on you, go for it." And if it doesn't work out for you, at least you tried. And for them, if they really need to, they can say, "Well, I knew it wouldn't work." And that comes down to their personality and who they are as people. I'm just moving a little bit because I get a little bit stiff sometimes. So, when it comes to empowerment in your life, when it comes to being the person that is enjoying their life, what is it that you love to do most of all in your life? And it's something that people may criticize you or just not get. What is it, that one thing that you might give up because people say to you, "Nah, I don't get why you're doing it. That's crazy. Why are you doing that? Why do you go to the beach in winter?" Like, why? What's going on with you? Because true empowerment comes from that space where you can be you, stand tall, and know that not everybody's going to get it. Not everybody's going to support you. And you're going to have moments of disappointment. You're going to have moments of frustration, but you're not alone. You're not alone. You deserve this happiness. You deserve success. And you deserve to be uniquely you. Because even when we have two people together, maybe you and I are the same age, maybe we live in the same country, maybe we're both neurodivergent, maybe we're the same weight, maybe we have very, very similar passions, but we're still unique. We still have things about ourselves that when we bring it all together, it makes us different. So I decided to set up this empowerment hour. It's actually really hard to pick a time when I know people will come on. In the past, I've done videos and lives in the evenings, and a lot of people have jumped on. Um, but also, I want to be able to have it so it's quieter for you. And if I try the evening, we've got noise, we've got all these other things going on. And so I picked a time, and it will either work or it won't. And the one thing I have to work on is having patience, because everything takes time. And one of the analogies that I actually do to remind myself, but also the people I work with, is that when we're creating change or doing something in our life that we really want to be successful at, one of our healthy boundaries to do is to choose very, very carefully who we tell. Who do we share this information with? So, what are your healthy boundaries? How well do you know yourself that you can implement your boundaries without reacting but responding? Where you get to the point where you say, "Well, it would be nice to have support from family, friends, colleagues, whoever, but it's not gonna stop me from following my dreams and being me the best way I know how, whilst being open to the opportunities to have fun, to celebrate you. You gotta start somewhere. You gotta keep showing up. So how can you do that? What boundaries need to be in place that you can choose to put into place right now, today, and continue moving forward? What is it that you can do? When you're ready, take your time to answer that question. You don't have to share your answer with anyone else. It's all about you. Just like me doing this live right now, and where I'm at, I have limited space. Um, you know, maybe to continue these and to have more people join and things like that, maybe it's me finding a new space. Maybe that's one of my things. What are yours? I'd love to know what your things are that you are working on, that you love to support you. Because empowerment comes from within you, but it also is about how you respond or react to this world. And I have a new book coming out. It's called Empowered Woman. I'm really excited about it. It mentions several women that I see as empowered women, and they all are empowered in different ways. And I was talking to a couple of them that are in the book about healthy boundaries the other day, and they said, I care so much, I give so much of me. And they said, then I just feel like people just walk all over me because I give and they take. And I asked her, well, what's your solution on that? I said, I'm happy to share, but what's your solution? And she came up with it. And then I asked her a little bit about how she was going to implement it. So healthy boundaries are a really important part to your life, to your business, to you being the best version of you. And you got to start somewhere in your life. And sometimes it's really uncomfortable when you implement a new boundary, when you start implementing that. Just like right here, right now. I've tested this mic, and no matter how close I bring it, the little dots aren't going any bigger. I could use a different streaming platform. There's other different ways I can do things, and that's okay. So today, I encourage you to think about what your healthy boundaries are for you. What makes it important for you, and to keep being uniquely you. So I'm going to leave it here at that. But thank you so much for joining me this morning. And for those of you that watch the replay, thank you. I really appreciated people supporting me. And you know what? Start somewhere with your healthy boundaries and being more of you and less of what others want you to be. Remember that it can be uncomfortable at times in life. So thank you for watching. You are amazing people. I'm going to keep showing up. And if there's a particular topic that you'd love me to talk about, please let me know. Um, Empowerment has so many different layers to it. It really does. And one of the beautiful things is that when we embrace that vulnerability and that fear in life to live the life that ultimately brings us joy and happiness, yeah, it's confronting. And especially when it's people we love. But the one question I'll ask you right now is, how much external validation do you seek for your own happiness and to keep moving forward to achieve your goals? Let me give you an example of that. Let's just say you've decided that you want to go skydiving, and it's something that you've always wanted to do. You see those ads where people are just flying out of their plane and they're just, slowly going down. They look so free, right? Like, they look like they're having the time of their life, and you're like, "Okay, I wanna go skydiving. Really wanna do that." And your friends and your family go, "Why would you wanna jump out of a plane? Are you nuts? You're in a perfectly good plane. Why would you wanna jump out of it?" "Oh, it just looks so amazing and freeing," and things like that. So you go off and you have some lessons because this is really important to you, but everybody's telling you, "You could die, the parachute might not open," like all the negative things that are that could go wrong. They tell you everything that could go wrong. Yeah, but I really wanna go skydiving. So you continue with your lessons. You get to the day where you've gone over it, you've checked your parachute, your instructor has checked the parachute, so your parachute is good to go. There's nothing wrong with it. You get in the plane and your stomach starts churning a little bit, and maybe those butterflies, like, and just not butterflies anymore, they feel so much bigger, and maybe you shake a little bit with anticipation, excitement. "Oh my gosh, I'm in this plane. The plane's taken off. Oh my gosh, I'm in this plane now. I really have to do it." And then your instructor says, "Right, it's time." Now, often I've never gone, skydiving, so I don't know, but often the instructor goes down with you, like, you go with an instructor until if you really wanna do it on your own, you've gotta do all these things. So, you go skydiving and the instructor says, "Right, now it's time. Let's go." And you jump out, and it's it's crazy. You're doing it, yes, with the instructor. Often I say to people, right before you take that step, what's going through your mind and your body? What are you thinking and what are you feeling? Right before you jump out of the plane, so to speak. So when you do something new, there's going to be thoughts and emotions and feeling in your body right before you take that step. Fully in, fully committed to what you're doing. They're really key things because at the end of the day, it's you might have been feeling nervous, you might have been feeling afraid, but you did it. You did it and you should celebrate that. So, guys, thank you for watching today. And hopefully, some of this has resonated with some of you. And yes, right before I started, I was so nervous. And because because I like everything to work out perfectly, I'm still trying to work out, like, whether I need to do something else with the mic. But hopefully, you've heard me today. And, I hope to grow this. I hope to, do more. Maybe the time slot will change. Maybe we'll go 7 o'clock, but really want to have it at a time when there's not a lot of background noise for you guys because I do know this mic picks up all the noise. Um, so yeah, let me know if you'd like it to be a different time. But seriously, this is something that we there's so many different topics about empowering you in your life, neurodiversity. We talk about health and well-being, so many different topics that I work with people on. So thank you for watching. Really appreciate you. And if you're watching the replay, share some comments if you like the topics to be on, like health and well-being, fitness. It's all about empowering you in your life. Thanks again.